little relieved, but she's just super like quiet, just to kind of like.
So can we ask her why she's in the hall?
Yeah. She didn't want to be around anybody else.
Okay, so it was her choice.
Yeah.
Okay. So ask her if she'd like to go for a walk with us.
Yes, she would.
And is there some nature nearby?
Yes.
There's some trees?
Yes.
All right, let's take her out there. How's she feeling?
Kept to herself.
What would you like to say to her right now?
That it's okay.
Yeah? But what's okay?
Just that everything will be okay.
Yeah. And what else? She's pretty perfect, right?
It's not her fault. It's not her fault.
It's just not her fault. Can you hold her?
Yeah.
So we talked a little earlier about the division with religion and with family. How's she doing with that? What's she got to say?
She doesn't like it. She thinks it's messed up.
Yeah. What would you like to say to her?
That religion doesn't matter. It's not a right or wrong way. There's not a right or wrong way. It's just what works for you.
Perfect. Perfect. How's she doing?
Better.
Okay. Alright, what else does she need?
Reassurance.
Reassurance of what?
That she's capable to just do her, whatever that is.
Yeah. But she's here for a reason.
Yeah.
Well, it's not anybody else's reason.
Yes.
What's she doing?
Better.
Let's talk to her about your parents right now. She's angry at them, right?
Super mad.
Yeah. Who's she angry at the most right now?
Mom.
And what's she want to say to Mom?
Screw you. You're a liar.
Is Mom lying or is she just mixed up?
She's mixed up.
Yeah, she believes what she's saying.
Yes.
What else? What would you like to tell her about Mom today?
I just want Mom to be honest. We don't need to lie or hide. Just say what it is. Because it doesn't matter.
Okay. How's Mom today?
Better than she was, but not there.
We're all on our own journeys then, right?
Right.
What do you want to talk to her about how she chooses to cope?
I want to say no wonder we act the way we do. Because she portrays a certain way.
What could be different?
It needs to be unconditional love. I want to.
And you young man, can you love her unconditionally?
Yes.
Can you look in her eyes and tell her how much you love her?
Yes.
Can you hold her?
Yes.
Tell her you're always going to take care of her.
Always gonna take care of you, Mom.
What about the young you?
She's feeling relieved.
Is she feeling young, loved?
Yeah.
What else does she need?
I'm not sure.
She feels good?
Yeah, she feels good.
She feels good to meet you. So ask her if she'd like to come back with you to this time, this reality. Tell her how bad you need her.
I need you to come back with me. She'll come.
Now we want giggles, okay? We want giggles in this process, right? Okay? So remember when you were a little kid? And we would hold hands and spin?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna create a vortex right now.
Okay.
So we're gonna hold hands and we're gonna start spinning. I'm gonna spin faster. 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 Faster till you can't see anything. You can't see anyone. You can't see her anymore. She can't see me. Just faster. Faster. As the spinning begins to slow, and your feet touch back down to the earth. Current version of you is normal. And moments were neutral.
And then,
Alright, we're gonna bring you back to this time and space. So we're gonna drop down through the clouds. Through the roof. We're landing across the process. We're gonna draw that energy behind your eyes back. We're gonna drop down, we're gonna fill up your chest. Your arms. Your fingers. Your belly. Your thighs. Your calves. All the way to the bottoms of your feet. I'd like for you to bring your awareness to the left toe, your left big toe. Can you find your pulse there?
yes.
And the big toe of your right foot, can you find your pulse there?
Yes.
Welcome home
Thank you.
with your eyes closed. If you look back at the school, is she there anymore in the hall?
No.
Perfect. And what do you feel right now when you think about that?
Relieved.
Perfect. Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you for being vulnerable and being here. I do, I'm worried right now.
I do. I don't know what it is.
we just dismantled a time loop where that version of her has been trapped in that hallway, right, since the beginning of time, right, since the beginning of, and, had we not gotten it, she'd be trapped there through lifetimes.
What?
So you want to share what that was like for you?
Yeah. Well, first, just a real story to get to it. Sue worked on me the other day, and I'm gonna get emotional, but it's not because I'm sad.
Right, it's
Okay.
just moving.
Go for it.
We get it.
It's just
Go.
Moving out. And we were doing some stuff and Cherie's name popped up and I felt it too. But while I've been here, I've been a little not skeptical, but I didn't want to we're going to do this. I just wanted to observe and be pulled wherever I was supposed to. So last night before I went to bed, I ran into her and I said, hey, if you still want to play in the morning, I'm open, but if not, it's okay. But then she found me this morning and asked a few questions and it brought stuff up. And when she said, are you ready to let that go? I said, yes, please, because I'm done. I just want to be done with this shit. So it's something, I'm 29 now, so I've been dealing with it for at least 10 plus years. And I've let it hold me back. It's not some crazy, horrible torture experience, but for me, it meant something. It hurt something. And it's stopped me, and I always tell me, oh, I'm fine. You guys can do whatever. I'm over it. I don't care. But obviously I do, because anytime anything that involves marriage, family, intimate relationships, it just triggers me. And so right now to feel so relieved and blank, I always say blank, but that's the most positive thing for me. Because now I can just paint whatever I want.
Yeah.
And it's my choice. And I'm super grateful for that.
Woo. Well, and the thing is we don't just have one loop, right? We have many, and we have them through lifetimes. But when we can go in and pull the root, right, and dismantle that root and integrate it back in, that's the piece, right? Like all that information, she came in with information that she didn't know when she sat down here. And we need it, right? Because that's the thing. When we have trauma, we have all these pieces of amnesia, right? And it's like these black holes in our timelines that are just sucking energy. It's like, I felt like I was moving through life and my clients like soaker hoses, right? Just like trickling out our energy all the time, just leaking out all the time, right? Where when we can put ourselves back together, put our psyche back together, right? One thing I really find with people is they start looking different very quickly, right? Because they're starting to have dimension, right? They're moving into wholeness. The wholeness has been a piece that we've talked about a lot. I know she was mentioning it, and I was sitting there going, wow, wholeness, right? Which is different than being healthy. It is different. Our bodies can be healthy while our minds are still very sick, right? We can be fractured and still have a semblance of health. The one thing about this, it's not coping, right? I was so frustrated through my lifetime that I was told that I was cool, I was fine because I could function.
Right.
Functioning is not living. Coping is not living. Managing is not living, right? When we can actually put ourselves back together, I always think of like an egg, right? And the Humpty Dumpty thing, right? When our field is solid and we're whole, nothing can come in to contaminate the yolk, right? So we can be present with what is truly there. A person with PTSD can't be present. They can't be fully present. So as I was studying, it was like, okay, I have all this information. Like, I could be up on the platform with Chopra teaching that. Didn't matter when I was triggered. Because that program that was running, right, only contained what I knew at that time. Right? So if I was 5, often like when you see people acting out, it's like, oh, how old are you, 5? Right? Let's go. Let's get that 5-year-old and bring him home. Right? Because that's what's happening, right? You know? And one thing that I really found in my learning, right? Like, I was in therapy for 30 years, like a string of prescriptions, like, you know, I had 11 prescriptions. And my final psychiatrist looked at me and he said, you know, Cherie, you could be sitting where I am, ironically. And he said, you know, but what I can say to you is you're not in there. You're not in there. I don't know where you are, and I don't know how to help you, right? So that took me on this whole journey. So probably about 5 years later, I'm sitting in an astral class, and they're traveling us, and I'm feeling nothing, which was interesting, because, you know, I'm pretty psychic, right? So I'm feeling nothing until they brought me back.
Oh, wow.
Right? And I was like, interesting. I don't think I've ever looked out of my eyes. Because my first trauma, I was 6 months old. My father almost killed me when I was 6 months old. So, you know, and I remember that, watching it from above like that. Right? You know, so being able to be completely in and looking out of our eyeballs and realizing that that is an amazing superpower to be able to, when you think about it, all right, she just quantum jumped, right? She just time traveled, and she just dismantled a time loop in a 10-minute period, 12 minutes, right? She started out at a 15 on that incident, right, emotionally, and where would you label it now?
Like a 1 or 2.
Usually people are at a 2, which is, you know, you don't want to take everything away from it because you don't want to repeat it. You don't want it to completely blend in, but it does drop into the fabric of life, right? These loops are like snags, right? Like if you've got a sweater that's got loops all over it, you're snagging it all the time, right? And when everything's snagged, it's all bunched together. So there's no space between today and 40 years ago.
Wow.
Right? Because your timeline is just like a watch, right? So when we can start moving these loops out and spreading it out, you know, then we have space to breathe. Do you feel like you have space?
Yeah, a lot.
Right? So when we have these black holes in our memory, right? That we often feel so haunted. Well, who's haunting us but us? Right? Those versions of us want to be whole, like they want to come back. They're tired of being trapped there. Sometimes we'll go back into this space and those kids are so mad. And you know who they're mad at? Us. Like, you forgot me. You left me trapped in Groundhog Day for 30 years, living the same thing over and over again.
I have a question. I don't remember anything before I was maybe 7. So does that mean that I just disassociated?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
And here I am with my granddaughter and I'm thinking, oh, well, I'm doing all this stuff with her, we're having her, she's not gonna remember any of this. But it's
Maybe
just,
she will.
I'm not.
When we've talked, I love, like, one of the new ideas was the idea of a magical person. And I didn't even understand what you were saying. I want you to share it with everybody.
Okay.
Because I love that compared to like somebody that's not that magical, that doesn't get PTSD.
Right. What I've realized is that, you know, not every human that experiences trauma ends up with PTSD. But the people that do end up with PTSD are extraordinarily magical people. Because they're already astral traveling, right? They're already creating time loops. They're reality hopping. Like, and all of the reason why they're having so much trouble understanding what to do with it is because it's muggles trying to figure it out.